Hi, this is Justin. I'm privileged that you're still following my channel Economics for Today and Tomorrow. Today I want to share with you about choice of a production technique. Now the production techniques could be labor intensive, where we are using more units of labor and less units of other factors of production like capital. It could be capital intensive. In this case, it would mean that we are using more machines than any other factor of production. It could be intermediate technology. In this case, we are using both labor-intensive and capital-intensive methods of production. And it could also be appropriate technology. This kind of technology is in line with the social and economic situations of a country. So when we look here, we are seeing somebody who has chosen the labor-intensive method of production. So when we use labor-intensive methods of production, or why most people prefer to use the labor-intensive methods of production, is because labor is cheap and therefore affordable to many people. Number two, even if labor has limited skills, it can still be employed and they can have on-job training. When we use labor-intensive techniques of production, like it is on a building up here, then we shall realize that once we use labor there, more people get employment. And when they do get employment, the advantage we get there is that it reduces income inequality. Using labor-intensive methods of production also helps us as an economy to reduce the overexploitation of resources. Now, what factors should somebody consider in deciding whether to use labor-intensive, capital-intensive, appropriate technology, or anything like that, any method of production? One, it is the size of the market. When the market size is big, then people should consider using more of capital-intensive methods of production because there will be greater output. When the market size is small, then you may choose to use more of the labor-intensive methods of production. Number two, it's with the skills of labor. If labor is less skilled, then the right method would be labor-intensive so that they can get some on-job training. But if you have skilled labor, you can either use capital-intensive or you can use labor-intensive method of production. Now, the other factor that you'd consider is the level of innovation and invention. So if the level of innovation and invention is high, then you may consider using the capital-intensive method of production. But if the level of innovation and invention is low, you may now choose the labor-intensive method of production. The last thing that you could look at is the availability of funds. So funds are going to be needed in the production method. If you have less funds, then you better go for labor intensive. But you have massive capital, then you could buy machines that you use in the production process. This and more when you continue following my channel, Economics for Today and Tomorrow.